everyone, my name is Isabella, and today I'm going to be presenting my cultural perspective on death assignment over the Hawaiian culture. So I chose to do the Hawaiian culture because I was actually supposed to be in Hawaii this week for my parents' 20th anniversary and for my 21st birthday. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen with COVID-19, but I'm excited to learn more. I'm excited that I've learned about this and that I get to share with you what I've learned. So, yeah, let's get started. So 63% of Hawaiians are actually Christian, according to a Pew Research, and 26% of Hawaiians are not affiliated with any sort of religious belief system. So, just to touch base on what Christians do at a funeral is typically they held a funeral at a church or at a gravesite and have a burial ceremony. The body is in a casket, and typically they have a potluck or a feast afterwards and share all a meal together. Christian beliefs focus on God and an afterlife. So good deeds and following commandments towards God will reward one after death with external happiness. So yeah, the location of service was typically in a gravesite, a church or funeral, where what most Hawaiians typically do today. But in the past, it was often that a service could happen in a cave. So the body would be left in a cave where these men were called pallbearers, and only they could attend the funeral, and they had pillows and mats made out of natural materials to help support the soul of the body through their journey. They said that the bones of the deceased left a spiritual essence, and that's why they used to bury bones so they could continue living on afterwards. But they no longer do that kind of service anymore. They stick with just traditional services. But now citizens in Hawaii, they typically do not do cremation just because of older customs of the bones being so important. But now they have a set list of requirements that the body has to be prepared for, the deceased needs to be prepared for before any family members, friends, acquaintances come to visit the body for viewing. They wash the body in salt water. In ancient Hawaiians used to call this the water of forgiveness, but now it is just used as a preservative for a body. It was said to purify the body and help keep it preserved for a few days. And the family has to pick out a special dress to prepare for the deceased, and then afterwards they would have a family feast with the extended family members and the friends to mourn. And another way that these Hawaiians have burial customs is called a paddle out memorial, where your friends and families, this typically happens for surfers who have passed away, and they all paddle out in the ocean. I'm guessing they get on a boat first, and then they all come in a circle in the middle of the sea, and they hold hands and they do native Hawaiian chants and pray, and the surfer is cremated, and they have their ashes and they spread it throughout the sea in hopes to bless the ocean water. Another memorial and burial at sea that Hawaiians have done in the past is fishermen who have died. They wrap their body in a red cloth and throw it in the ocean in hopes that a shark will eat it. I believe they believe that after the shark would eat it, that the spirit of the body would then remain on through the shark. With the Hawaiian funeral, something I found super interesting was their attire. So they do not typically do a formal attire, which is what we do here in the United States. We typically wear all black when we go to a funeral, but their common type of attire is called an aloha attire, which is uh, casual theme. Most people wear colorful t-shirts, island t-shirts, where you see people on the beach wearing those button-down collared t-shirts with different designs on it, such as like a flower or something to that nature. And they could even wear shorts and flip-flops, and girls are said to wear long flowy dresses, colorful dresses with flowers on them. But it is important to make sure before you go to the funeral which attire that the family is requesting. It would probably be uncomfortable to show up in the wrong attire. Um, Another thing I found super interesting about their culture is funeral flowers. For us, we normally just send a certain type of flower uh, to the funeral home for them to be looked at. And in Hawaii, they have a lei in which you wear. It could be set up on the tables or throughout the funeral home, but they wear a lei, which is like kind of like a wreath. It's just strung along flowers, and they're all colorful, but certain colors have a certain meaning. But most people wear this to represent a good fortune of love and passing, and show respect to the deceased and his or her family by wearing this lei. And the lei is typically green, or it can be a different color to show different symbolizes and different meanings, such as some certain type of leaf is called the good luck leaf, and it has a certain smell and a certain look to it. So there's different types of looks, smells, and colors that you can wear that have different meanings. Um, but after the funeral, you can either lay your lei on the casket, or somewhere keep it there for the family, or you can go somewhere meaningful that you have between you and the deceased, and leave it in a place that that person thought was important, or a place that you two thought was important together. Um, so a tradition also could be someone taking the flowers and leaving it in the ocean and scattering off in the ocean. So yeah, that concludes my presentation. And if you have any questions at all over what I've just presented, please ask any questions at all in the discussion board comments. Thank you.